everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Good.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
Is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
with Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 25th day of July 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. We will come to the birthday shout-outs and everything else a little bit later on, but we have some very important guests in the studio this morning, so we're going to go straight into the discussion. First of all, I want to welcome Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Wayne Panton in the studio with us, and also the Minister with responsibility for health, environment, and sustainability, the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. Folks, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, OC. Pleasure to be here with you.
And good to have you back as well. So what we will be talking about this morning is mental health. And yes, there was a press release issued yesterday. I will share part of that with you. So the Cayman Islands government approved the establishment of the Poinciana Mental Health Advisory Council, a key initiative to enhance governance, accountability, and community responsiveness at the residential rehabilitation facility in East End. The Advisory Council will serve as a critical link between the day-to-day operations of the facility and the evolving mental health needs of the Cayman Islands community. Appointed by Cabinet, the Council will provide oversight across clinical, operational, and governance functions, ensuring that ethical standards, evidence-based practices, and proper diligence are consistently upheld. So, Minister, it is quite obvious that the government has hit the ground running, and in this particular case, an issue that has been so controversial in the past, getting things on track. Over to you.
Thank you, OC. Good morning to everyone who is listening. Happy Friday. We are delighted to be here this morning just to share a bit with what the Cabinet has just recently approved, which is the Mental Health Advisory Council for Poinciana. And just to talk a little bit about, mental health in general. In relation to the Advisory Council, this council has been established to serve as a crucial link between the day-to-day operations of the facility and the evolving mental health needs of Cayman. In addition to that, the council will provide oversight across clinical, operational, and governance functions, which will ensure that ethical standards are upheld and evidence-based practices and proper diligence are consistently upheld. And just to say that what really brought the implementation of this council was that looking back through the original documentation, the OBC for the facility, it set it out that in order to ensure that this facility was able to function at its best ability and be properly utilized, the implementation of an advisory council was actually suggested from the very outset, which would have been from way back when. But we are happy to put that in place now, and we're very confident with the individuals who will be leading that up. Dr. Lockhart is the chair, and I think that his reputation speaks for itself. He is an individual, a very capable doctor who's had a vision for mental health long before we have seen any type of mental health crisis here in Cayman. So that's just a bit about that. Mr. Panton, I don't know if you want to chime in a bit about the facility or, I guess, the council and the importance of it.
Well, I mean, I would say, I want to thank you for being proactive and bringing for example, the creation of the council to cabinet, because technically it really wasn't necessary for minister to do that, but I think it demonstrates her desire to be inclusive and to be able to advise cabinet of what's going on, and to get this in place. And I particularly like the fact that we have, as she does, Dr. Lockhart back on board in relation to this and leading this implementation council, because that is, I remember, it must have been like 2000 before 2009, meeting with him and discussing the need to have a mental a rehab center, and I think in his mind he was envisaging from back then, well before then probably, something like Poinciana. So I think it is appropriate to have somebody of his caliber back on board, and being able to lead this council that the minister has brought to cabinet to have approved. And, I think this is essential to ensuring that we can have an inclusive, proactive approach to managing both the clear operations of Poinciana and getting the best out of it, but also in general taking that approach across, the broad spectrum of needs in the country. Because, one of our challenges is mental health has become a much more significant issue than it was in the past. And we effectively have a crisis going on as well in relation to our young people. So it's really critically important to have such a strong approach and an inclusive and proactive approach, because we'd rather be able to deal with helping people before they get in crisis than when they're in crisis. So, I'm just very, very happy to be a part of the process and being able to see this through, because I'm so happy that we're able to deliver this and move this forward for the benefit of the people of the country.
And for the benefit of our listening and our viewing audience, this council will not have executive functions per se.
They're just an advisory an advisory council to help guide the ministry, and ensure that all of the requirements that are needed to ensure that the facility is functioning properly, that the programs are in place, because I know that's one of the concerns that has been raised with the facility sort of being opened abruptly, was that there has not been a proper rollout of programs for the residents. And as we look at transitioning patients from HSA over to Poinciana, in order to do that, we need to make sure that it is certainly functional and it is a safe environment for a different type of resident, so.
And we saw the Health Services Authority move extremely quickly to address a situation that they had, at their facility as well. Would you like to speak to that also?
Yeah, just to say that the HSA had responded to the need as well. The quickest option that they had available was to sort of separate the existing mental health ward, to separate the adults and the children. And that is a very interim measure, but certainly it addresses safety concerns, which are our utmost priority. And so while we appreciate that we now have this interim measure in place, there are a significantly higher number of patients that are being seen at the mental health ward. So this is the reason why we're now looking at building out the program and the operational needs of Poinciana.
Okay. And would you like to update the public in relation to the Poinciana project now, where we're at from a physical as well as an operational standpoint?
Yeah, well, I mean, Mr. Panton, you can chime in at any time as well, right? For me, going there, we went and had a tour of the facility. It is beautiful. I mean, state-of-the-art, gorgeous facility. So it is, the facility itself is functional. One of the things that has not been properly, I should say, finalized is the rollout of the programs. And what we've had to do is, there have been some ongoing agreements or, memorandum of MOUs with the Health Services Authority, who stepped in to assist in order for the facility to be open. So there's a sharing of personnel. And so that is sort of what of course, the advisory council, which is comprised of individuals who are very familiar with this space, and we should be seeing the names of all the members gazetted sometime very soon, so the public will be able to see. But we're going to rely on those individuals to help us determine what is required as it relates to the type of practitioners that we're going to need at the facility, and just activities to ensure that the residents that are there get the care that they need, and they're able to transition from being in a state where help me, Mr. Panton, I'm losing words here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Melissa and I did visit Poinciana, and it is obviously a beautiful facility. It has even won design awards.
Yes.
And the unfortunate thing is we've had the history of the difficulties in getting it completed. COVID intervened and a variety of other issues that were going on. But I think, what is essential for us now is to be able to transition that from this wonderful facility into something that is wonderfully operative and able to, meet the needs of the people, meet the needs of the country, and deliver what we anticipated, both in the past in terms of conception, but also the realities of today. Because what we've had today is we've had this this unhappy coincidence of getting this facility finally open, but also having a really significant increase in the numbers of people with mental health challenges, and scarily for us, particularly for us as parents, but as as leaders in the country, it involves a lot of our young people as well. We've had a really drastic increase, and that's part of the problem that has happened at HSA as well with the facility there. That there was a significant ramp up in the needs for adolescent care there, and this mental health, the Poinciana Mental Health Advisory Council is now going to be able to assist with that transition from this beautiful facility into something that is operational, something that is meeting the needs, delivering what we need, and ensuring that, from our perspective, we want to be able to have an in-school, for example, support to community-led initiatives, and effectively we want an environment which incorporates Poinciana and the mental health ward at HSA in an environment in which mental health is promoted, protected, and prioritized. I think both Minister and I are very, and all of government really, we're very happy to be at this point and to be able to move forward. And there are some decisions to be made. I mean, operationally, do we put, and I'm not sure if Minister has made any decision on it to take to her colleagues in Cabinet to discuss, but, what do we do with this? Do we keep it as it is and have it as a department, or do we put it under HSA, or do we create something separate? But it needs some kind of operating structure in which to put it on the.
And I guess you would look there to see exactly where the competences are, and and maybe even looking at international best practice for such facilities as well. We're going to take a commercial break. We're also going to be joined by Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary Ms. Julia Hunter. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Yes.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Solomon McCherry Ebanks, 1901 through 1990. McCherry Ebanks grew up in West Bay and went to sea at 16. At the age of 26, he became a navigator and from then was known affectionately as Captain McCherry. During World War II, he risked his life and those of his crew to sail between Cayman and Tampa, bringing food and supplies to his countrymen. Captain McCherry was also a turtler, sailing regularly to the Mosquito Keys. When he retired from sea, he established a store in West Bay and became a farmer, raising cattle and ground provisions. He thus supplied the community with fresh beef, fruits and vegetables, and the basic necessities of life. He was married to Louise Editha Ebanks, and they had 8 children. He assisted many people in his community, including his nephews who were orphaned at a young age and raised by Captain McCherry and his wife. He was a man of foresight who saw the need to invest in his island, which he did by purchasing property. During his later years, the sale of some of the property enabled him to maintain an independent livelihood for his wife and himself.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
This summer, happiness is better when you share it. Coca-Cola invites you to share a Coke with someone special. Grab an ice-cold Coke and find a name. Maybe theirs, maybe yours, maybe a surprise. Because nothing says you matter like sharing a smile and a Coke. So who will you share a Coke with today? Find your name, find your friends, and share a Coke. Available now. Stores island-wide.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
It's a sizzling summer with JN Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with JN Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with JN Money.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have been discussing Cabinet's approval of the establishment of the Poinciana Mental Health Advisory Council. That conversation has been taking place with the Minister with responsibility for health, environment, and sustainability, the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, also in the studio with us, Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Honorable Wayne Panton. And we have also been joined by MP and Parliamentary Secretary, Ms. Julie Hunter. Ms. Julie, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Good to have you in the studio.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be here.
And I think you're going to jump right into the conversation as well, because you were listening in, earlier as you were coming in as well. So go right ahead. You have the mic.
Yes, I was listening to Mr. Panton talk about the different challenges that a lot of our young people are having, and when I think that the National Drug Councils has just put out some of the statistics that 1 in 5 children in Cayman have experienced 4 or 5 adverse childhood experiences. That's really something to think about, 1 in 5, so basically, so many of our children that we see walking around, you never know what they're experiencing. I had an incident just a little while ago where, a couple of children that I knew, had been going through trauma, but we didn't realize that they were going through so much trauma until it just morphed and it just erupted. And yet when you really checked it out, they had been going through trauma for so long that was suppressed. So a lot of these programs, we really need to start early. I was looking at some of the C's in the Summer Seas campaign, connection, fostering relationships, and peer engagement. So many times our children, we don't realize how much they need and how much they're not getting. And that connection and those relationships are so necessary. When I think of places like the Poinciana, and I look around in West Bay, just in West Bay alone, the young people and adults that are just walking aimlessly around West Bay that would benefit from Poinciana, that need to be in a facility that can help them, get them back on track. Young people that were raised with my children, I see them walking around aimlessly doing nothing. Sometimes, you don't even know how to, you try to talk to them, them like, the back of your hand. But sometimes it's just so difficult when you think that this is where they are. But there is just still hope. When we get this up and running in the way that it should be, I know that this can help a lot of those young people that are out there that are needing help. So I'm hopeful this morning that we are going to get this up, we're going to get this running, and that things are now moving in the right direction for us with regards to Poinciana.
Okay, Minister.
Yes, and I agree with P.S. Hunter that, once this facility is functioning properly, then that will alleviate a lot of the burden on HSA, allowing them then to have more facility or space to address and deal with our youth and adolescents. And just to go back to what P.S. Hunter was saying as it relates to what, a lot of our children are facing, Mr. Panton might recall when we first were elected back, me first elected back in 2021, we sat around the room and listened to Chief Officer Sonia Cacho give us a picture of what a lot of our young people who are going to school face. And she used the analogy of a race. And she said, if you line a lot of the children up in this community and you say to them, if you have one incarcerated parent at home, take a step back. If you have witnessed domestic violence at home, take a step back. If you've been abused or exposed to substance abuse at home, take a step back. And she painted the picture to us that a lot of our young people are, placed with their peers who don't have to experience a lot of those setbacks yet, until we can address that, it will also affect the results that we're seeing as it relates to their grades and their mental health. So really looking forward to, some of these really great organizations. And as Ms. Hunter mentioned, the Summer Seas campaign, really happy that is being launched or led by MASH in partnership with, many of the other government ministries and NPOs.
Yeah, actually one of our listeners sent a message in just now, and I have actually sent a WhatsApp message correcting them because they were of the opinion that MASH has been disbanded, and MASH has not been disbanded. MASH is up and running. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday of this week, we had representatives of MASH in the studio with us as well. So that's important for the people, the public out there, to really get the facts and know the facts as well.
And it says that the Summer Seas campaign is actually, in fact, led by MASH.
MASH, exactly.
In partnership with multiple government ministries and non-profit community organizers of the Summer Seas program.
Okay, I think we have 1 minute left before we go to the news. We can probably squeeze something into that minute. Well, we note that in the press release, the actual members other than Dr. Lockhart have not been announced yet. When we return from the 8 o'clock news, we can probably talk about that and the selection process, for that, and whether or not, if there are persons out there with professional skill sets who may want to serve on the council or in some other capacity in a volunteer basis, whether or not there is room for persons to be able to do that as well. Because we know that we have many in our society here, Caymanians and non-Caymanians as well, who have certain skill sets, but they're doing other things as well. And whether or not that would be something that would be welcome, and look at also at the selection process for that. We know, for instance, that the governor, when selecting members for various boards that fall under her, she will invite persons to put forward their resumes, their CVs, if they want to serve and things of that nature. Whether or not that is possible in this particular case, or whether the selection process has already been finalized as well. Folks, with that, we're going to our 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, Member of Parliament, Honorable Wayne Panton, and a Member of Parliament, Miss Julia Hunter. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Radio Cayman time check now 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
School starts here. Right on. Because nothing says endless possibilities like a fresh page.
At Foster's, find supplies needed to spark their talent, like notebooks, folders, pens, markers, all at prices that make the grade.
It's more than just paper and pencils. It's potential, creativity, and confidence.
So, load up their backpacks with the tools to dream big and write their own success story.
Check out our in-store school zones to make it easy to grab exactly what you need. Or shop online at shop.fosters.ky.
Foster's, full of paper, pens, and possibilities.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
One in a million.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. The Grand Court upholds human trafficking convictions for 2 people while at the same time reducing their prison sentences. Radio Cayman's Jemmy Ebanks explains.
Originally sentenced in September 2024 to 4 and 3 years respectively for smuggling 2 Ethiopians aboard their boat, the couple challenged both their verdict and the length of their incarceration. While the courts dismissed the appeal against the conviction, Justice Cheryl Richards KC found the original sentence to be manifestly excessive, citing a reliance on UK case law where the crimes involved were more egregious. Justice Richards ruled that the offense committed by the couple, though serious, did not warrant such lengthy terms. As a result, the man's sentence was reduced to 33 months and his wife to 25 months. Now, with both having been remanded into custody since May 2024, they are now eligible for early release under local laws that allow prisoners to be considered for release after serving 2/3 of their sentence. The conviction marks the first human trafficking conviction in the Cayman Islands. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Jevy Ebanks.
Next year, under the Blue Belt program, researchers from the Cayman Islands Department of Environment and other overseas territories will embark on a research expedition to explore the depths of the Caribbean Sea. Blue Belt is calling on Cayman creatives to help design a T-shirt that local researchers will wear aboard the British Royal Research ship, the RRS James Cook.
Through this expedition, our scientists will discover more about our island's offshore environments, deep-sea habitats and species that live there.
Her Excellency the Governor, Jane Owen, tells Radio Cayman this research will help inform the future conservation and management of Cayman's offshore waters, ensuring that sustainable fishing, local livelihoods, tradition, and culture are, quote, safeguarded. As part of this, the Department of Environment has launched its Caribbean Research Expedition T-shirt design competition. Since the DOE scientists are going on an adventure to uncover the secrets of the Caribbean Sea, they need your help to bring a piece of Cayman with them. The winning T-shirt design will be featured in live streams and a documentary. The theme is Beloved Isle Cayman. The deadline to submit is October 1st. For more information, you can head to doe.ky. And yes, you know all about cutting back your trees, securing outdoor furniture, and making sure your pantry and medicine cabinets are fully stocked for hurricane season. But what about insurance? Or if you need to evacuate the island? CIGTV's Travis Webster brings you some important information from Hazard Management Cayman Islands.
Members of the public should check and update insurance policies for homes, property, and vehicles to ensure adequate protection. Critical documents like insurance policies and other important records should be stored safely in waterproof containers, and digital backups are recommended. Additionally, the Passport and Corporate Services Office advises the public to verify your passports are valid and to check entry requirements for travel. Early applications for passports or visa renewals are encouraged to avoid last-minute issues. Travel documents should also be kept in waterproof bags to prevent damage. For inquiries or assistance related to passport needs, you can contact the Passport and Corporate Services Office by phone at 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Govinda Gill. Israel has said it will allow Jordan and the United Arab Emirates to resume airdropping humanitarian aid to Gaza. Israeli officials said Jordan is set to carry out the first airdrop, possibly as soon as today. The medical charity MSF says a quarter of all young children screened at its clinics in Gaza last week are malnourished. It described the situation as starvation manufactured by Israel. Cambodia has urged Thailand to accept a ceasefire and end the ongoing fighting at their shared border. The Prime Minister, Hun Manet, said both sides had agreed to a truce before Bangkok withdrew the talks mediated by Malaysia. The Philippines Supreme Court has struck down a move to impeach the country's Vice President, Sara Duterte. Judges said the complaint violated constitutional procedure. Ms. Duterte has been accused of misusing public funds, failing to account for her wealth and threatening to have the president killed. That's the latest BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. Beach and Reggae Sundays on Breeze 105.3 FM from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. 2 locations, Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Governor Square open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grand Harbor open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and open on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 947-8900 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Once again, pleasant good morning to you, Cayman. Let's take a look at your weather updates. Present temperature, 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like about 99. Some partial cloud cover. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 11 miles per hour. Relative humidity 84%. The barometric pressure now at 29.97 inches. Synopsis for today: scattered showers and thunder are expected today as a surface trough moves across the Cayman area. Our forecast calls for cloudy skies with scattered showers and isolated thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate at wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later this evening, we're looking at cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and thunder. Temperatures will fall to the low 80s. Winds will be east to east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Overcast conditions are coming along. High tide is coming up in the next hour at 9:46. It's going to be low at 3:54 this afternoon. High at 10:31 tonight. Sunset will be this evening at 7:03. The outlook is for a decrease in the chances of showers through Sunday. Now, my friends, is your latest weather.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, just about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's take a look at the traffic situation. Coming out of the eastern districts, traffic is flowing smoothly, but of course getting into the Georgetown area. Looking down at Jose's gas station, we do see some slow-moving traffic. Similar with traffic coming out of Agnes Way, and similar along the Elizabeth Pearson, especially to the Bobby Thompson roundabout. We do see some congestion in that area, getting to the traffic lights, of course. And getting onto Huldah Avenue, slow-moving traffic as you get to the CMB roundabout. And starts to disperse slowly. So I'm heading up Thomas Russell Way to the Butterfield roundabout. And once getting the camera to swing in that vicinity, not much traffic along our Bobby Thompson Way. Actually, the camera just swinging from there. But of course, getting to the Butterfield roundabout, traffic seems to be fair to fine. Not much traffic in that area. But taking it back to the Bobby Thompson Way, may have mentioned that there's some traffic there. But as soon as the camera swings, taking a look at the Bobby Thompson area, there is some traffic coming along that area, so which is expected. Smith Road, traffic flowing west towards Walker's Road, flowing fair to fine. Walker's Road itself seeing some light traffic. And of course going through South Sound, South Church Street into Seafarers Way. Some overcast conditions, some rain expected, so be cautious on the wet roads. Cayman Braca, Little Cayman. Light traffic this time of the afternoon. Enjoy your day, commute, drive safely, and keep it locked right here to your Radio Cayman. Your traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Get ready for something sweet, spicy, and totally crave-worthy. The hot honey chicken sandwich is here, and it's bringing the heat. We've taken our tender, juicy chicken and drenched it in bold, hot honey sauce for the perfect balance of sweetness and spice. But hurry, this one's only here for a limited time. Hot honey chicken. Try it today before it's gone. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
It's a sizzling summer with Jan Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with Jan Money. Visit www.janmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with Jan Money.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, let me remind you that, first of all, we're talking about Cabinet's approval of the establishment of a Poinciana Mental Health Advisory Council, but we're also talking about mental health issues in general as well. That conversation is taking place with Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary Ms. Julie Hunter. Also in the studio with me, Honorable Wayne Panton, Member of Parliament and also Parliamentary Secretary, and the Minister with responsibility for Health, Environment and Sustainability, the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks.
Thank you again, OC. And as we continue our discussion today, I guess what I could probably do is just go back to answering the question as it relates to the composition of the council. And just to share a little bit with those who are listening, the OBC, or the business case, actually set out that there should be an advisory committee established to assist with the operational and governance functions, as well as oversight across, clinical and ethical standards and evidence-based practices and proper diligence is really what that council is contemplated to oversee. And so it also sets out that it should have a program manager, a clinical director, a family representative, and a program staff representative, as well as individuals from key community agencies and mental health services. So this council has already been appointed. The individuals have been appointed, and it wasn't done in a fashion of looking for district representatives throughout the various caucus members. These individuals have been appointed because they have some level of expertise and experience, particularly in the mental health space. For example, Dr. Lockhart was appointed as the chairman and the program manager because he is, a consultant psychiatrist, and everybody knows that he is well versed as it relates to mental health issues. And there are other physicians on the council, as well as, some ministry reps. So I'm pretty sure that list of appointees will be gazetted, hopefully, if not today, early next week. But that is how the composition was determined. Now, what I will say to those who are interested in putting themselves forward, whether you have maybe an interest or some sort of experience in health related matters, or, if you just would like to put yourself forward to see how you can be utilized, the email address that I would encourage those who are interested to send their CV over to is healthandwellness@gov.ky. And that's the approach that many of the members of caucus are taking, is we are appointing individuals to the various boards that have expertise in the area. You know, they keep saying that you're only as good as your boards. So the government is being very, very intentional and taking a lot of time with ensuring that the individuals we put on the boards are going to be able to fulfill the function of that particular body.
Okay, Mr. Panton, anything you want to add to that, sir?
No, I think Minister has done an excellent job outlining all of that. So, I mean, it's, you know, this is about embedding in accountability and clinical excellence and community engagement into this governance structure for Poinciana. So we're building that foundation that supports recovery and long-term well-being.
And OC, I really would like to just take an opportunity to thank publicly Dr. Lockhart for being willing to come on and take lead of this council to assist me as Minister and Parliamentary Secretary Panton and the whole ministry team with ensuring that we can get the Poinciana facility fully operational, because it's operational, fully operational, and the programs in place as quickly as possible so that we can start to move patients from HSA over to the facility.
And this council will report directly to you, Minister?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me share one note that we received from one of our listeners. They write, it is estimated that 50% of individuals with severe mental health illness also have a co-occurring substance use disorder. Studies also show up to 70% of people in community substance use treatment may also have a mental health disorder. They go on to say, now is the perfect time for Cayman to finally launch integrated mental health and substance abuse outpatient and residential programs. The starting point for this will require our society and treatment professionals to approach addiction as a health issue rather than a criminal issue.
Absolutely.
Does anyone want to comment on that? The connection between mental health issues and substance abuse?
Well, I mean, I guess none of us really here are real experts on this. But, certainly, my experience has been that many people utilize drugs as a form of self-medication.
And coping.
And yeah, it's a way of trying to cope with the issues and challenges. Now, sometimes it has to be said that drug abuse can create mental health challenges. But I believe personally that it's more often the other way around, that people have stress, have anxiety, have other types of mental health challenges, and they end up self-medicating in order to try to address that. Now, to be honest, we know that a lot of people in this country utilize certain forms like marijuana, for example, as one of the quote-unquote softer kind of drugs, and they use it to assist with anxiety and that type of thing. And you know, it can lead in some cases to harder drugs and bigger challenges. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, we have to recognize that we have these challenges, and we have, as a society, we have, and government, we have to put in place programs and exhibit tolerance and you know, kindness and try to find ways to help people and deal with these challenges, because it is not just, you know, when we were growing up, you know, there was a lot of negativity associated with people who were doing drugs and stuff, right? But today we understand that it is not just a decision that people necessarily make to go out and do something that is wrong and antisocial and all this sort of stuff. So it's a complex set of circumstances that sometimes is quite difficult. It comes from all kinds of roots. I mean, it could be that people have, we've been talking about children, 1 in 5 children in Cayman have had adverse childhood experiences. And it could be that they grew up trying to figure out how to deal with those kinds of traumas and manage those types of things. So I have learned certainly never to, to judge people necessarily just because they're involved in certain activities, is to try to understand where it's coming from.
Problem.
And at the end of the day, we have to have empathy, and we have to try to find ways to help them overcome both their root challenges as well as, the sort of addictive things that they have been engaged in.
And I think too, we have seen a lot of times in Cayman is the cycle that continues, because you have had children that have grown up now with parents being incarcerated. Sometimes both parents were incarcerated. They've seen the domestic violence. They've been exposed to parents using drugs in front of them. So you have all of these childhood experiences that now have morphed into the fact that they are now in that same sphere where they're doing what they have seen, the only things that they know. And a lot of times they use it now as coping for the trauma that they experienced in their childhood. And so that's why, I think that so many times we have to go back to, as a society, and not putting ourselves in that situation. But even when I think of things like overeating, if you're addicted to food, it's no different than being addicted to drugs. So a lot of us are addicted to things in our life, but we don't necessarily see it as being bad, quote unquote. But then we down or we look down on those people that are drug addicts, not realizing that, addiction is addiction, and we don't know where it's coming from. But in that instance, let's put ourselves in that position and try to help and try to say, what can we do to change some of these. And these behaviors, when I think of that, I think of us as a society being more resilient. And resiliency as a country starts with our mental health. If we are resilient as a country in our mental health, it goes a long ways to national resiliency. Whether we're facing a hurricane or managing rising temperatures or personal challenges, or whether it's abuse, whatever it is, that resilience that comes out when we as a whole, as a country, get together and realize what's happening, realize that we have a big job in front of us to do, and all participate, all help. That's why the summer program, when I looked at the 5 C's, I was just so encouraged, connection, compassion, coping, community, and care of the positive youth mental health, so important.
Yep, that is so, and that program there actually, I think it's going to run until August.
August 31st, 1st July to August 31st. But I mean, just to look at what they're concentrating on, OC is what I am saying. Those are the kind of C's, those are the kind of attributes that are going to help our youth and our people as a whole cope with what is happening and bring us to that resiliency that we were talking about.
Yep. And folks, what Ms. Julie is talking about there is the Summer Seas program. And those of you who listened to Talk today would have heard talk about that on Tuesday afternoon, this past Tuesday. One of our listeners, folks, have said there's also a need to ensure that persons currently incarcerated who do not belong in prisons are rehabilitated as well. And I did receive a call from a former courts office personnel in relation to the challenges that the courts have been having in terms of referral as well. So we have about 2 minutes before we go to the commercial break. There's another question in relation to whether or not there are any financial constraints in terms of getting the Poinciana Rehabilitation Center to the level that you want it to be. So maybe we can include both of those comments or questions when we return from the commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Miss Julie Hunter, who's the Member of Parliament, as well as a Parliamentary Secretary, Honorable Wayne Panton, who is also a Member of Parliament and a Parliamentary Secretary, and the Minister for, make sure I get that right now, Health, Environment and Sustainability, the Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. I'll be talking about the press release in relation to the appointment and the establishment of the Poinciana Mental Health Advisory Council, but our discussion is going beyond the facility and talking about, mental health issues in general. Before we went to the commercial break, there were two questions, one in relation to the facility itself and also addressing issues and concerns like, for instance, the courts, and also talking about whether or not there are any financial constraints that would prevent you getting the facility to the point where you feel that it is satisfactory.
Well, I guess to answer the question there with the facility, there is certainly going to be the need to spend money on it, for sure. And it's what we as a government have to do is to speak a bit about priorities. And we all know that the health of our people is at the very top of the priority list for us. So that's the most important thing that we want to be focusing on. But yes, certainly there will be I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible, but there will be challenges, you know.
Mr. Panton?
Well, I might be a little less diplomatic and say that, there are significant financial challenges. There was a lot of discussion about the pre-election finance update and some members in the opposition complaining that it wasn't accurate and all sorts of stuff. Well, the reality is, OC, and for the listening public, while there was a projected deficit for 25 of 26 million, the reality is when you run the models now, as we have been doing over the last couple of months, it's a multiple of that. We're looking at around 60 million in deficit for 25. So we're struggling to work through that. And the answer is not going to be easy. I mean, we have half a year to either find cost savings or find cost savings and revenue measures to offset some of those costs. And the challenge is it's not just 25. We also have 26 projected to be 44 million in deficit. And this is a result of the leadership that was occurring over right at the end of 23 and across 24, unfortunately. And the predictions of what would happen were made in 23 when I was Premier and I was pushing to try to avoid this situation. Now we have the reality of all of the bad decisions that had been made, and I'm not, it wasn't a cabinet decision. Yes, collectively they participated, but it was the leadership at the time. And unfortunately, what this means is for us, in relation to things like Poinciana, we may not be able to do everything that we want to do, but we're certainly going to prioritize Poinciana and the needs of our children and the needs of our people who are suffering from mental health challenges. Because at the end of the day, if we don't do that, we are failing them. And it is going to be a significant, reduction in resiliency for the country. Mental health is something that is absolutely foundational to national resiliency, and we have to prioritize it. So it is frustrating that we won't be able to do many of the things or everything that we want to do, but we will prioritize this and do as much as we can with what we have, while we're trying to manage a situation of avoiding, continued deficits.
Okay. And OC, it's not just prioritizing for our mental health. That's very important. That's right up there at the top of our list. But we also have other challenges. For instance, we are now having, as a government, to prioritize and find funds to help with just children that are hungry during the summer. Remember now that we've had all year they've been in school where they have breakfast, lunch, and sometimes even a snack after school. But now that school is out, you have so many children that are in situations at home that they have no food. Literally no food. We're getting those calls every day that, I don't have any food. My mom is in the hospital. I'm with my grandma. There's nothing in the house. Can you come? So I know that Minister Rankin is right now trying to find funds to put together so that each of us can bring forward those families that are very, very much in need of this support during the summer. So to what Minister Panton has said, this government is faced with many, many challenges. And, those are just two that we're outlining right here, a list of many, but they're real. They're real because when you talk about support, if you don't have that kind of support, then where are we going as a country? We're talking about resilience here, and these are some of the brightest minds that I would say in Cayman that are put in these situations, and I've experienced that recently. Some of these same children are the ones that, came up with top awards in school at graduations. and yet they're in that situation. These are the kind of children that, are potential leaders. So we have to take care of them, So challenges all around, but we are coping and we are trying our best as a government. And I know that, no matter what, our people are our priority. We campaigned on that.
Indeed.
And whatever we can do in our administration to make sure that our people are taken care of, whether it's with jobs, whether it's food, whether it's with opportunities, whatever it is, we are going to look at the fact that if it's for our people and it's going to help our people, then it's going to be a priority of this administration.
And just to add to what Ms. Julie was saying, one of the things coming from the focus on our people from the health standpoint is really starting to focus more on preventative care and preventative care, not just with, ailments that are outside of mental health, but also including preventative care for mental health, and we've already started within the ministry looking at what would be required to level up community support as it relates to many of you that are listening might remember way back when there was a strong presence of the community nurses who would go through the community and visit those individuals who were struggling with a mental illness. Sometimes they just needed to get a simple injection. These individuals will still now go out to the clinic. I know I've heard from the nurses at West Bay Clinic that they still have some of the residents who come and say, I think I need my injection now. But taking a much more aggressive approach to preventative care in that regard in the mental health space. And I think that when we start to focus on improving our community preventative care, then we reduce the numbers of inpatients and we are able to get it under control much faster than what we've seen happening of late is the individuals have reached a state of where their illness is acute and they then need to be hospitalized and given proper attention and care. So we want to prevent that from happening. Again, going back to what P.S. Hunter was saying, ensuring that even when in that vulnerable state, our residents can still feel resilient after receiving some urgent, preventative care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then that leads to the other challenge as well, Kathy, the challenge of that we also have, we need a bigger clinic at West Bay and so many of the other districts. So that's just still yet another challenge. We have outgrown that clinic so long ago.
It's so true.
Yeah, and so that shows you just how many things we have on our radar as an administration that is dire.
That is a priority.
A priority. Health. Yes. Yeah, and yet we spent so much money on asphalt. Those are the kind of things that just make me get so, ticked off.
Yes.
To use a simple word today, ticked off. So much money on asphalt and all these other things that were unnecessary when we have so many needs of our people that should have been focused on, and we're not focused on that are now left for us in our lap. So many needs and yet so little funds. So what a combination.
True. So true. So we're going to definitely have to be innovative. And I think that's one of the reasons that forced us to look at how we could repurpose or situate Poinciana, because we realized very quickly that the government didn't really have the money to go out now and find another location and retrofit it. And so I think that's the one positive thing that will come out of our constraints, is that it will force us to be innovative and look at how go back to who we are as Caymanians. Caymanians have always repurposed, reused, so that's what we're going to have to do as it relates to the resources that are available to us.
Okay. I believe one question came in, it was relayed to me, asking, how can religion be incorporated into this whole issue of mental health and assisting people as well? How can that be incorporated into
Well, I think that we have to use our NPOs a lot more than we are, and I think our NPOs and churches need to really take this on board in a more aggressive manner and get involved. I know just Wednesday night I had an excellent hurricane preparedness forum, and one of the things that we had at the forum was we had our trauma coach from Hope's Dwelling, Miss Rhonda Cornwell, come. And one of the things that you think of this time of year is hurricanes. And so hurricanes itself causes trauma, causes anxiety, causes stress. I know that personally. And so that's helping us to be resilient if we can prepare. So the seminar was excellent, but what I will say out of that was it also taught us that, being prepared takes a lot of that stress and drama out. But if we as NPOs and churches would do more things in the community, regarding mental health, regarding forums, regarding picking up some of the tabs for the children that are hungry, regarding, having, maybe more programs. I was just talking to a parent just this morning, who said that they have nothing for their 14-year-old to do if they're not involved in sports. So there's so many other things that we could do as a community. The literacy programs. I was at the youth literacy program graduation last week, and 28 of our young people graduated. That's an excellent initiative that has now been started. And these are the kind of programs that are going to help our young people, that are going to help our island become more resilient as we look at a holistic approach. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were reminding me that, there's so many programs that our adolescents need, as far as grooming, as far as I don't want to get into too much of it because I know we have time constraints, but I'm just trying to say, as a whole, if we would put all of it together, if you do a little bit, I do a little bit, this one do a little bit, then we bring it all together so that we can have those needs met. So I agree with the person that we as a spiritual society need to get more involved and stay connected, stay involved in what is happening in our society. We have churches now that government has provided facilities, and yet their fences are locked. The young people are not even allowed to go in and use the basketball courts that the government provided. Oh, see, that's just not good enough. That's not good enough.
Need all hands on deck. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
It's a sizzling summer with Jan Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with Jan Money. Visit www.janmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with Jan Money.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Miss Julia Hunter, Member of Parliament, also MP, Mr. Wayne Panton, and Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. One of our listeners has written in and said MP Panton mentioned that they will need to look at cost reductions or revenue generating measures. In the referendum, the people voted for gambling. We also voted to decriminalize marijuana. Both of these can bring in revenue for the government. When should we look to hear more from the government on these two issues?
Well, on the second point, the public will know very shortly what is happening in relation to that. But the question in relation to decriminalization and in relation to the National Lottery is being effectively referred to the Law Reform Commission for their assistance in reviewing it and taking, public consultation and making recommendations as to how to address it. But that we'll have more information being issued, I get probably from the Honourable Premier's office in the next week or two in relation to that. But I just want to address a particular aspect of it, which is that decriminalization is not going to be an opportunity to raise money. Mm-hmm. We're not selling marijuana. We're not selling any kind of product like that. Mm-hmm. Decriminalization is about simply removing the criminal conviction element from people who are caught utilizing, and it's going to be narrow. It's going to be some small amount, which we haven't yet exactly defined, and that's one of the reasons for submitting it to an agency like the Law Reform Commission to work on that. But that is simply going to be just a way of avoiding a criminal conviction. It's not going to involve any kind of revenue opportunity at all for government. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where I think people get confused is they conflate that with legalizing marijuana. So they start thinking in terms of, well, government can license and people can get involved, and entrepreneurs and this and that and the other, and it creates an economy around that, including where government could get business fees or license fees. That's not what's happening here. Mm-hmm. That can't happen because we are a British overseas territory and we are subject to an international drugs convention which lists marijuana as a Schedule I drug, one of the highest drugs to be controlled. Bermuda has tried it, BVI has tried it, and they've both been rejected, and the UK will not agree to it. So that should dispense with that. On the question of whether a national lottery is going to raise any significant amount of money, well, it's difficult to assess that at this point. The work of the Law Reform Commission should assist in relation to assessing the opportunities there.
Mm-hmm. One of our listeners has written and said, why did the government not train Caymanians to work at the Poinciana facility after knowing for so many years that they were going to be building this facility for our Caymanian mental health patients who were getting treatment overseas?
What I will say to the listener is that one of the areas that I want to improve on while being the Minister of Health is developing clear clinical pathways for Caymanians to be able to not just take on nursing roles, but I certainly want to see clear pathways for every space in health. I think that we have reached that place in our island where we should be able to facilitate all of that here. But to be more specific to the question, and to give credit where credit is due, there was recently a graduation where trainee psychiatric nursing assistants just recently graduated. And out of that cohort, I believe it was if I'm not mistaken, all of those cohorts were Caymanians, and majority of them have been placed within the mental health space on the island, whether it's at the Poinciana facility or at the mental health ward at HSA. So there has been some training that has taken place, but the caller or the listener is correct that we still have a lot of work to be done as it relates to building out clinical pathways to encourage Caymanians into health, into the industry, because COVID highlighted the fact that there is a shortage of practitioners and just anybody working in the health space, and not everybody is going to want to be a doctor, or a lawyer. And health doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a doctor. You have technicians, you have assistants working in the surgical ward. Like, there's so many exciting roles in the health industry, and that's something that I'll be working on with the ministry team and parliamentary secretary. So thank the caller for that question.
Okay, we also have a statement from the chairman of the Poinciana Rehabilitation Center Facility Advisory Council, and I'll share that with our audience. It reads, I wish to express my humble appreciation to the Honourable Minister of Health, her dedicated team, and the Cabinet of our beloved country for the trust and confidence they have placed in me and in the newly appointed PRC Advisory Council. Their foresight and understanding of the critical role mental health plays in the holistic development of our nation is not only commendable, it is inspiring. Their swift and thoughtful action in supporting the formation of this council and in responding so energetically and decisively to our early calls for support speaks volumes about their commitment to the well-being of our people. I am and have long been prepared to harness and maximize the dutiful, resilient Caymanian spirit in transforming the PRC into a pristine model of care and learning, one that serves as a national standard for excellence in mental health services. As we move forward, the full scope of rehabilitative programming at the PRC will be thoughtfully developed in partnership with our community. We will place particular focus on cultivating interest and providing opportunities for our students who aspire to careers in mental health. This is a mission that will uplift lives, strengthen families, and build a healthier, more compassionate Cayman. To your honorable guests and supporters, thank you again for your unwavering encouragement and for your rapid and energized response at such an early stage in your tenure. We are honored to work alongside you in this journey. With sincere gratitude, M. Lockhart, MD, consultant psychiatrist.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lockhart. And I guess the listening audience can hear exactly why he is the ideal person to chair this advisory council.
Okay. I just want to say our panelists, the minister and the two parliamentary secretaries, have agreed to extend their stay for an additional 15 minutes because I know people were inquiring about whether or not the phone lines are open. We're going to open it up for about 15 minutes because we had actually guests scheduled for 9 o'clock, but there's some flexibility there as well, and we're extremely thankful to them. So before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, let me see if there are any other questions or comments that have come in from our listening and viewing audience. But, that is a resounding message coming from Dr. Lockhart. And again, it shows his commitment, to the process. Paul, I believe there's a call coming in on the WhatsApp. We may be able to grab it before we go to the news. Nothing coming through on your end? Okay. Are you ready? You're not ready for us yet, are you? Okay. He wants me to talk. Okay. This person has written and said, "Good morning, OC Minister Catherine, Parliamentary Secretaries, Mr. Panton and Ms. Hunter. I am happy to hear of government's actual and proposed actions to mental health issues. They have highlighted a number of the symptoms and possible causes that I contend that are, I'm going to make sure that, that possible causes that I contend that the primary cause for the majority of our problems is a rate of growth, population, and physical development. Until we address and get this growth issue to a sustainable level, we will continue to experience more and more side effects from this laissez-faire type of development." I want to thank that listener for that as well. We're going to go to our headline news, and we will have an additional 15 minutes with our panelists. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, on right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
If you're an early riser, you may want to plan ahead as the Water Authority is doing roadworks along Shamrock Road on Sunday from 5 to 6 a.m. The eastbound lane of Shamrock between Ocean Club and Poindexter will be closed. Eastbound traffic will be diverted onto the east-west arterial. Israel says it will allow foreign countries to airdrop aid into Gaza in the coming days. Countries including the UK, US, and Jordan dropped supplies into Gaza from military planes last year, but humanitarian organizations warned it wasn't enough to meet soaring needs. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing growing pressure to recognize a Palestinian state as France announces it will do so in September. Starmer is due to speak to the German and French leaders later. Germany says it has no immediate plans to recognize a Palestinian state. And Thailand's leader has warned that clashes between Thailand and Cambodia, which have killed at least 16 people and displaced tens of thousands in both countries, could, quote, move towards war. The acting prime minister added that the fighting now included heavy weapons and had spread to 12 locations along the border. Thailand also accused Cambodia of firing into civilian areas and evacuated all villages deemed to be within the radius of its rockets. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Our guests have agreed to stay an extra 15 minutes with us. We're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to ask everyone to please be brief as possible. We have a caller on the WhatsApp number. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, and you?
I'm good.
Okay. Good morning to
our panelists.
Yeah, panelists, Miss Catherine, Mr. Bean, and Miss Julie.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, concerning the Poinciana facility, I'll ask you some questions, and then when I'm finished, you can answer, so we don't hold up too much time. Will there be cameras in each room where these patients are? And will there be a CCTV security guard watching these cameras on a 24-hour basis? And will Caymanians have first opportunity being the security guards to do this work? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. What I can say is, let me just see something here. What I can say is that there will be adequate security. There actually already is. And as we look towards, increasing the type of residents that we have there, this is something that we will need to be looking at. I'm not sure what that answer is right now. I don't believe that there are CCTV cameras in the rooms. Typically, the spaces for mental health inpatient care or patient care there is a door where you can view the nurses or the again, this is where it was good to have that tour, and I want to thank all of the staff at HSA and also Poinciana, but most of the rooms have like a viewing window where the nurse or whoever it is that's on the ward would be able to look in to see how the patient is doing or the resident is doing. And then also most rooms that house a mental health patient, they're equipped quite differently than that of a room for someone who isn't in for mental health care. But outside of that, caller, I can't really answer any more details because I would have to liaise with the experts on that. But what I can tell you is that we are going to ensure that every resident and every patient is safe and they have the adequate care that they need in order to be treated properly and to overcome their illness that they are facing. And as it relates to the question about the employment for Caymanians, yes, I think it has been seen that this government is certainly, on a mission to ensure that every able-bodied Caymanian who has the desire to work will be placed with employment. So if there, are jobs available, they're going to be placed on the work website. And I know that my colleague, the Minister for Caymanian Employment and Immigration, has been appealing to all Caymanians who are seeking jobs. And actually, Parliamentary Secretary Hunter, this is one of the areas that she's working closely on with the Minister. And one of the things they're encouraging Caymanians to do is to utilize the portal, the work portal, and that is the way in which they can monitor who has applied for jobs.
Okay, we have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you and your panel, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Good morning.
Thanks.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you. I'm asking for explanation and a clarification. While I understand that there wouldn't be any charges about people smoking marijuana, can I have a clarification? Are they or would they be able to smoke this in public? As I am not sure what's happening, or will they have to smoke it within their own environment? Not meaning that in a public gathering that they would be able to smoke it. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
I think, caller, thanks for the question. If I understood him correctly, he was asking about the ability to smoke marijuana.
If it's decriminalized, you know.
I mean, decriminalization, as I said earlier, means that, you know, you can consume small amounts or have small amounts in your possession, without resulting in a criminal conviction. But I don't think it necessarily means that you can go and stand on a street corner and smoke.
Yeah.
Because you are still potentially going to be subject to, and it depends on how it all, what kind of recommendations come from it and stuff. But you could still be subject, for example, to administrative fines. You could still be committing an offense, but not one that you're going to get a criminal conviction for if you are found in contravention.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect that you can go and stand on a street corner and do that.
It won't be a free for all.
You might be able to sit in the privacy of your home and do it, but you're not going to be walking around the town, you know, smoking spliffs freely.
Yep. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning. I have, I don't know if it's a question or a statement or both, to the minister. And I'm asking if, you know, when people are seeking employment here in Cayman, in the health ministry, since that's what the focus is on this morning, if they could be vetted, not just locally, but overseas, not just where they're coming from, but anywhere else that they may have claimed to have worked, and especially where they're claiming to have been qualified by, because we're getting too many of these people here, and there's a language barrier, and then there is the bigger problem that they're clearly not qualified to do what they came here to do. And it has become, in my opinion, I don't know if it's an issue that's being ignored or people are not realizing it. Too many of these people are on the front line, and that is creating havoc in itself, especially with the language barrier and the lack of knowledge in the field that they're being brought here to work in. And these are positions Caymanians, school leavers, could be filling. I could name several places that is going to hell in a hot basket because of this problem. And then Caymanians are being pushed out of their jobs to bring these people in. To me, work permits should never be granted for those positions, and no contract should be signed with our government for these positions. We have Caymanians that have been doing those jobs and can do those jobs. So I would leave that one with the minister and
Thank you.
other two representatives.
Thank you very much, caller. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to that as well, and then we'll go around the table for closing comments as well.
Well, I'll just
Minister?
jump in to just
Yes,
say to
ma'am.
the caller, thank you for your statement, and I will ensure that the message is delivered to the relevant HR bodies that sit within the ministry, and also communicate that to the board, the HSA board. The minister doesn't have any say in anyone who is employed. We're limited in that regard, but I will still make sure to express, which we have been as a government, making it clear to our teams on what our priorities are and so forth. This is our time to wrap up then, OC?
Okay, but we're going to let you have the last word. So we'll start with Miss Julie and go around it.
I would just say to that, the point that the caller has made, OC, that is why we are taking such an aggressive stance on immigration and employment. And as you would know, because Minister Miles has been on your show numerous times and various other shows, that this government that's one of our main priority focuses. So we are going to be getting our people back to work, especially on our front lines. I agree with the caller. Somebody pointed out to me that, even on front lines of our essential services, that there are now people that are just directing people. I mean, why do you need someone from another jurisdiction to do those kind of receptive posts? I also want to say that, a lot of us are rolling out unemployment registries that they can sign up on, and we are working closely with agents from work that once they sign up on the portals, the unemployment portals, then we will work closely with those people that are unemployed. So I know my portal from Westway West is due to be open on Monday, so you can get more information on that by calling the Westway office, or calling you just WhatsApping my number as well, 926-1438 or 916-2118, and we'll be happy to give you more information on our work portal that we are instituting, because that's one of our priorities for my constituency, is to get them back at work, and I've been working closely with them to make that happen. So thank you for being able to be here this morning.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, and
Thanks
hope everyone has a great day.
Mr. Panton?
Yeah, thank you, OC. I was going to say that I am acting minister for Caymanian employment and work and customs right now, but Miss Julie did a great job of articulating, the point that I was going to make, really. And yes, that we are certainly placing a significant priority on addressing the needs of our own Caymanian people and employment opportunities for them. And we make no apologies for taking that position. Of course, we have to recognize that one of the things that we have had here is we've been really good at creating an economy which is much bigger than we have Caymanians to be able to service. So we do have to bear that in mind. But at the same time, what that really means is that there are so many opportunities that should be available to Caymanians, and that they're we want to ensure that we are playing our role, but that the private sector is also playing their role in ensuring that they take on Caymanians, train them, give them opportunities as far as possible. And there's it's a good problem to have. There are elements of it that is, sort of makes us a victim of our own success. We talked earlier about the growth rate and the population and the fact that we're a minority now, and that tied into the issues of Caymanians feeling, like they're overwhelmed in their own country and all that. And but sticking with the employment side is, there are opportunities there, and we are just saying we need to ensure that those opportunities are available to our people, and we don't make any excuses about it or apologies for it. OC, thank you very much for the opportunity to join you this morning. It's been a while. It's been a minute, as they say, for me. Last time I was in here was, I think it was before the election. So it's been a while, but always a pleasure, sir. And I want to say to the listeners that I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of the day, and a safe weekend, and to drive safely on the roads. And as you always say, be our brothers and sisters keepers and all that. It takes us all working together to make this community, this society, a stronger, more resilient, better one. And that's what we're hoping to try to achieve with the focus that we're bringing on a number of these areas.
Exactly.
So thank you very much. God bless the Cayman Islands, and God bless everybody listening.
Minister.
Thank you, OC. Again, thank you for having us this morning. I always enjoy being able to come on, and I get really excited when we open up the line to take calls. So I was happy that we were able to listen into some of the thoughts and questions that our listeners were able to share this morning. I would like to also thank Parliamentary Secretary Hunter, who is actually an acting minister today.
Okay.
She's the acting minister for District Administration and Home Affairs. And so I want to thank her for joining this conversation and lending her voice and support to the advancement of the use of the Poinciana facility. And as a woman and a mother, she provides a perspective that is very much appreciated as it relates to, the holistic view as we look at mental health and the care of our people. That's the beauty of having women in our caucus and in our cabinet. And then to P.S. Panton, I just want to thank him for his unwavering support in not just, the advancement of mental health, but also just as I navigate through, this very large ministerial role of health, environment, and sustainability. And, as we talk just a little bit about, all that we're doing, I just want to say, as women in politics, we have the benefit of working with men who support us, our male counterparts, see us as equals. And, I just wanted to take a moment to publicly just say how delighted I am to work with, the two ladies, Miss Julie and Miss Heather, and then more importantly, for us as females to be seen as equal by our male counterparts. I know there's a lot of conversation going on about women in politics, and I just see it as, we sit with the men and we're seen as equals, and happy to be able to move, and advance mental health forward in Cayman. And just in closing, I want to say that I think it would be a missed opportunity if we don't share with those who are listening. If there's someone that's tuned in today that might be having some sort of mental health challenge, if you're not feeling, confident in your mind, you feel sad, you feel like there's nowhere to turn, there's lots of resources available. There's K-Minds. The number is 1-800-534-6463. And then we have the Department of Children and Family Services, 949-0290. And then also the Alex's Place, which their services are Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the youth and adolescents. Their number is 244-7856. And just in closing, I feel it important. I know someone asked about religion and how does that come into mental health. And I just had a minute where I've been thinking about my own personal journey as an MP, and we talked a little bit about it off air, talking about doctors who are in the space of psychiatrists, dealing with mental health patients. Everybody has a wealth of stress that comes from, their roles, or, Miss Julie, she talked a bit about, the stress that comes about from hurricanes, and that's one of the reasons why she's been working so hard in her constituency to ensure that the residents can alleviate a lot of those stresses. But I thought quickly about Psalms 23 and just the fact that having not everybody has a relationship, a spiritual connection. But me personally, there are times where the only place to turn is to just stop and say a little prayer. And I do feel that having that relationship with God certainly has provided me with comfort during challenging times. And whilst a lot of agencies are available, having that spiritual connection brings benefits that no 1-800 number can provide, and you can call it at any time. So again, just encouraging those who are listening that in addition to all of those numbers that were provided, there's also churches, maybe attending church on Saturday or Sunday will certainly bring you some joy. So with that note, OC, thank you for having us today. Thank you, P.S. Hunter, for the acting minister for being here, and acting minister Panton.
And I
appreciate it.
That was an excellent segue into our next guest, because we will have representatives from the Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands in the studio.
Excellent organization, if I might say so.
Okay, you'll get an opportunity to meet some of them outside. Yes, sir.
I hate to speak after the minister, but I just wanted to add one other number, which is the Kids Helpline that the Alex Panton Foundation has in place, and that number is 649-5437. 649-5437. And that is obviously designed specifically as a resource for young people to be able to, talk things through with not even necessarily a clinical person, but people who have been trained in order to identify whether a child needs to have clinical assistance. So that is available, 649-5437.
Okay, thank you very much. Folks, we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to prepare for other guests. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is an announcement for shareholders of Cayman National Corporation Limited. Republic Financial Holdings has made a cash offer of $7.75 per share for the purchase of the remaining minority shareholdings of Cayman National. The offer is open until 5 p.m. Cayman time on July 29th. shareholders are reminded to review the offer and submit their form of acceptance to offers at rfhl.com if they wish to accept the offer. For any questions, shareholders can reach out to Republic Financial Holdings at offerquestions@rfhl.com.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now representatives from the Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands. In the studio with me, we have Nicole Thompson, who's the chairperson, Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands. Mr. Sean, is it pronounced that way? Sean?
Yeah, Sean.
Sean Miller, who's the assistant to the regional director of the fellowship, North America and the Caribbean, and Miss Sonia Wallace, who is from the Good News Club facilitator, Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands. Folks, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, and first of all, let's tell our listening and our viewing audience exactly what the Child Evangelism Fellowship is all about. I'll from here on, and I will refer to it as the CEF.
Yes, CEF Cayman Islands. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Connor. So, Child Evangelism Fellowship is actually an international organization that has been in existence since 1937. And the goal, as stated in the name, is to spread the word and evangelize children. So our target group is really these 5 to 12-year-olds. There are other groups that deal with other age children. Okay. As I said, it's international. The Cayman Islands chapter of the organization has been in existence since 2010, when we actually had a board. One of our first board members is actually Miss Julie Banks, the late Miss Julie Banks. And the persons who were involved then recognized the need for providing avenues for children in the schools to have access to the gospel and to make that decision, even at that young age, to give their lives to Christ. Now, I just want to be very clear. This is not a church. It's a missionary Christian organization. And the idea is that the children would then become members of the local church. So this is not to take over any local churches or anything. But we recognize that there's a lot of time that our children spend at school, and it provides a good avenue as one of the clubs that they have at school to really enforce and share the word of God with them. So our primary means of impacting our young people, our children, is actually through the Good News Club. So you've heard about a Good News Club facilitator.
Yes.
And it becomes an after-school program that through games, activities, sketches, videos, songs, it's a means of getting them at their level to understand what the Bible says, to understand what Word of God says to them and how it can impact their lives, and really giving them an opportunity to come into a relationship with the Lord from a young age. There's a lot of material that's available. We have a lot of volunteers, and all our volunteers are trained personnel in our schools. And we are very pleased to say that we are present in all of our public primary schools at this point. Let me clarify. All of our public primary schools in Grand Cayman. We are still getting into the BRAC, and we have actually reached out, and in our upcoming September, we expect to be really establishing ourselves on the BRAC as well.
Okay, and for the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, the age range again, can you point that out?
It's 5 to 12 years old. There are some programs for younger students, but we are not active in those yet in Grand Cayman, but it is something we are looking into for our early childhood group as well.
Okay, so Mr. Miller, can we talk about the goals of CEF internationally, as well?
Yes, absolutely. So children may not make up 100% of the nation, but they make up 100% of the nation's future. And as you think about reaching out to children in the country, there is a battle for the hearts and minds of children. You think about major companies around the world, like Disney and all the different companies, toy companies, designing toys for children. They spend billions and billions of dollars on how to capture the mind and the heart of a child, because they know that if you have the heart and mind of a child, that you will then, have their, brand loyalty, if you will. But from a church perspective, we know that if the church does not reach the children, someone else will. Mm-hmm. That's why there's such a big battle over, school curriculum around the world. There's such big battles around reaching out to the children, because if you're laying down cement, it's much easier to mold the cement while it's still wet. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to the children. So CEF International, we seek every child to be reached with the gospel. And in the Caribbean region where I have served for the past 15 years, I've lived in St. Kitts and Nevis, I've lived in Turks and Caicos, and serve really around the region. Mm-hmm. It's exciting to see how truly every child can be reached. You look at countries like Anguilla, St. Kitts, where they're truly reaching out to every single child in the country. Countries like Jamaica, where there's much higher populations of children, they just this ministry year reached out to 100,000, which is 25% of the elementary age population. And right here in Cayman, you have every single primary school that's been reached. So our goal is every child, every nation, every day, and equipping the church to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Now, during the course of our early discussion, or first discussion, we had someone question as to how can religion play their part in terms of addressing mental health issues. I know this is sort of like going off the talking point, but it was raised there, and this may be a good opportunity to hear from the experts, in children's issues, to see whether or not how that can be incorporated into what you do, or how it does address the issue of mental health.
Oh, absolutely. You have children that are going through incredible challenges. You have children that are in broken homes. You have children that have, had abusive situations. You have children that are bullied. And we, within CEF, yes, it's from a religious Christian perspective, but we are offering hope and joy and peace. Now, we know that, we believe that it comes through Jesus Christ. But, this is the message that we're offering to children, that you may be in a very difficult situation, but you can have peace that passes all understanding, joy in the midst of difficult circumstances. And so that is the message that we are seeking churches to impact children with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And just to add something to what Mr. Sean is saying, we have had experiences and we have heard stories and testimonies of children taking home what they have learned at the Good News Club and being the change agents in their home. So they have actually impacted their family, their surroundings, their environment. So we need to get away from, because sometimes in church circles, in Christian circles, we tend to think, they are too young. And I think that's one of the biggest things that CEF is about, that they're not too young to understand the gospel, to have it transform their lives and even be transformation agents themselves. So that's why the target is our children. Yeah.
Okay, and we know that, all of these programs and everything, you always want people to be involved as well. If someone has an interest in being involved, how do they go about it?
Well, first and foremost, we want their prayer. I think that's the main thing we need. The Lord is able to move and shake things as we pray. So we want them to be our prayer partners. But you are right, there are some physical needs that we have, resources, finances, people, human resources. Those are key elements as well. And we don't limit anyone in terms of their involvement. So there may be persons who may not be able to commit, say, to being a volunteer in school, but they may be able to participate even in some of the training we have and use things within their churches, because the materials that we have are actually available to be used in church children ministries as well. So they can reach out to us for that. But if persons have a business and they feel the need or the Lord has impacted on their heart to donate, we welcome donations. We are a registered NPO, so everything we do follows the general registry requirements. If persons have their time and they want to volunteer, definitely reach out to us. If persons may have a company and they may have snacks that they want to donate, because we have to, our children love to eat. Let's get to the bottom line of it. So, if we can provide them with snacks at our Good News Clubs and so forth, everything is welcome. Okay. But first and foremost, we really want their prayer in partnering with us in this ministry.
Now, since we've mentioned contact, we were going to talk about that later on in the discussion, but maybe now that we have people's ears in terms of, how can they be involved, how can they donate, let's put out some contact numbers there, details.
This is Sonia. Yeah.
To contact us, they can call 321-9091. Or they can email us at cefcayman@gmail.com. Okay. I take the calls.
Okay.
And of course, if we don't respond immediately, then of course I do call you back. Okay. And we share our brochures electronically. We talk with you. We tell you where we are. We tell you about our various programs.
Excellent. So we're going to now talk about the upcoming training event that's taken place. Mr. Miller.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning we will be doing a teacher training that is open to all interested children's workers, those who desire training. We are going to be talking about how to teach children. Now, yes, obviously from a primary level, you have, and really in all teachers, there's modes of teaching, academically and things like that. But we are really going to be focusing on how to teach a Bible lesson, how to teach an effective outreach to children. Because sometimes we can approach children's ministry with really teaching the knowledge of the stories of the Bible without really, teaching a lesson that really impacts their life. They're just getting the head knowledge instead of the heart knowledge. And so we will be talking about that tomorrow morning. And we are going, anyone who comes will be able to get free curriculum as well to go and, have that for your children's ministry, because we are here to help any church in their outreach to children. Like Nicole said, we are not a church. We are, we help churches to come together to reach the children.
Okay, and can we give some more details about the training, the venue, times, and as well?
The training will be held tomorrow, starting at 9:30. It goes to 12:30, and it will be held at the Savannah United Church Hall. Okay, on Astral Way in Savannah. Okay, we will be there to greet you, to be with you, and we expect that we will have persons from different church groups, because already we have seen in persons who are interested, coming from different church denominations.
Okay, I think they can still register at cefcayman@gmail.com.
They can still register at cefcayman, yes.
Okay, and let's give some more details about the registration in terms of, and if they're unable to register, can they still show up at the event on the day? What should they bring with them? What should they be prepared for?
I guess bring a receptive spirit.
Yes, and willingness to fellowship with us.
Yes.
So it's completely free. Maybe bring a pen to take notes, and you will leave equipped and encouraged.
Okay, and for those who are listening and may not know where the church is located. That's behind the Rubis gas station.
Yes.
What else is there? There's Chill Spot,
Chill
I think.
Spot, yes.
Is there also Wendy's right in that area, in the same vicinity there, if you have any difficulty in terms of getting there as well. So we want to hear about the good news for the Good News Clubs as well. What good news do we have to share, Ms. Sonia?
Our Good News Clubs are the fun part of our schools. It's not just, academics. It's where we help children to become more spiritually aware.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a time when they know they're going to be listened to. They're going to be hear the stories from the Bible. They are going to be able to shout and sing and clap and dance. And you leave there so, excited. As a matter of fact, so often when I'm visiting the school, before I even reach the room, they are running to me. When are we getting started? When are we getting started? I tell you, the children are just so overwhelmed with Good News Club. And one of the things we find is that the teachers also find that those children who are in Good News Club, are cooperative. Okay, they are more confident.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They are speaking out more, and they tell us how the children also take the lessons around to other students. They are praying for children. Mm-hmm. Okay, as a matter of fact, at Johnny Cumber, the Good News Club actually went to visit with an ill teacher,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and the parents came along, but it was the children who led the program, the children who were praying for the ill teacher. And so we see that kind of a spiritual development. And we see where they are impacting their own parents. Okay, and of course, they are getting Christian values that will follow them for life.
Okay, we have a caller who has joined us, a WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Do you have a question or comment?
Good afternoon, Mr. O'Connor.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And good morning to you, guests too.
Go ahead, caller. Are you here?
I would just like to say that I would like to say that what you all are doing is awesome. Especially these days.
Mm-hmm.
Helping our young people, our little children to find Jesus and God and to know them personally and to know their will for their lives from a young age is an awesome thing you all are doing. And the Bible says that the little children will lead the way. So as you said, by teaching these little children righteousness, they will reach their parents who may not have a close relationship with Jesus and God.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the last days. We have all the signs, which means Jesus is coming soon. And what you all are doing is when you will hear, when you come before Jesus Christ and God Almighty, you will hear, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant."
Yes.
Amen.
So what you all are doing, whenever you all get the opportunity to do so, is just totally awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Paul, I think we have another caller as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. I just wanted to make sure that I was on the air.
Yes, you are.
I am sorry, but I didn't hear all the program before. But according to what that last caller was saying, it sounded like our representatives are doing some good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad about that, because what we have had going on here is not good. First of all, we're outnumbered, and that comes with some serious repercussions. Where did that happen that I know anything about was in America with American Indians. And you know what happened there. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be as fortunate as those people were, because we got people coming here.
Caller, I hate to interrupt you, but we're actually talking about the Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands. The minister and the parliamentary secretaries have left, and we're actually on a different topic now. So what I would welcome you to do is I will be hosting guest hosting talk today, this afternoon, and no doubt the phone lines will be open at some point in time when you will have the ability, to talk about that there. But right now we have guests in the studio that we're talking about Child Evangelism Fellowship. Caller, thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, I would just add to the conversation that within CEF we're really focused on building fences in society. Mm-hmm. If you have a village at the top of a cliff and children are playing football and the football goes over the cliff, you don't build an emergency clinic at the bottom of the cliff. You build a fence. And that's really what CF Good News Clubs do. We are seeking to build fences for the nation because if you see the problems that are taking place with the young adults and with the teenagers, you have to reach them as children. And so when you reach out to the children, you're really investing in the nation's future.
And you pointed out earlier that you're an NPO as well. For the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, explain what the implications of that, as being an NPO, and what your obligations are.
Okay, thank
so
you.
that they know that they're dealing with a certified and trusted organization.
Most definitely. And if I may just say, that first caller, I felt like he preached a sermon. It was so encouraging.
Yes.
So yes, as a non-profit organization under the Cayman Islands government, we have certain regulations and procedures that we must follow. Most importantly, the management of any finances that we receive and that tracking. And in terms of also who is able to be appointed as director, as members of the board, etc. So with that oversight, persons will be confident that we are an organization that's not operating just willy-nilly, helter-skelter, so to speak, but we do have operations, procedures that we must follow, that we must report on annually. So we are very strict in terms of meeting those requirements. Our meetings are minuted. All our board members have to go through a process where police clearance, all those things are necessary. So all our operations have to be in order, and we pride ourselves on that. And especially as a Christian organization, we also need to operate by godly principles. So we are not called upon to do things just anyhow, as we would say, but rather to follow strict rules and procedures.
Okay. Miss Sonia, have we spoken yet about the upcoming 5-day club as well?
No,
we got to hear about that.
Yes. The 5-day club will be held August 4 to 8 at the Prospect Youth Center.
From the 4th of August to the 8th
of August.
Okay.
It starts from 8:30 and it goes to 12:30. Consider it something like a mini summer camp.
Okay.
A half-day summer camp. It's free, but of course you register, and to register you call the number we had mentioned before, 321-9091, or you email us at cefcayman@gmail.com. Of course, that is going to be so fun-packed. We'll have food, Bible stories, missionary stories, games, songs. And we are going to have a community protectors time. And the Cayman Fire Service will be there.
Okay.
So it is going to be filled with joy, filled with fun, filled with fellowship. And we ask that you send your children. It's for children, by the way, 7 years to 12.
7 to 12. And let's repeat the dates and the location and the times.
It's August 4th to August 8th. It starts 8:30 on the Monday morning. It goes to 12:30 each day. And it will be held at Prospect Youth Center. That's on Prospect Point Road. Okay. And of course, you will take your children there and collect them at 12:30.
And at no cost.
At no cost.
Oh, wow. Well, while we still talking about no cost, let's talk to those persons who would have an interest in assisting your program, the Child Evangelism Fellowship Cayman Islands. Let's talk about that, because there's always a need.
Oh yeah,
we do have so many individuals and businesses in the Cayman Islands that are doing well. Many of them will, contribute one way, either cash or in kind. Many do so anonymously. They're not looking for the headlines or anything else. But once they know that there's a need out there, they will assist. So let's give the details, contact details and everything to them as well.
And CEF does not sell material. Okay, our programs are free. And therefore we do rely on sponsors. Those sponsors come from churches, they come from businesses, okay, they come from friends, and others who are just, whatever the career choice, but you would want to be involved. We are very careful that those who are involved in the ministry, we not only ask for your police clearance, but we also ensure, especially if you're going into school, that you adhere to the child safeguarding policies. Okay, and with that, of course, we have to keep training persons, and we need funding for that. We at times have to even assist where necessary, and of course, we have to carry through our administrative responsibilities. We do need funding for that. So, any kind of sponsorship, whether in cash or kind, is always welcomed, and your talent, your skills, whatever you can give, do get in touch with Child Evangelism Fellowship. We are definitely needing more volunteers, not only for the school side of things, but also for things like our 5-day club that we're having in the summer, as well as just to be part of what we call our subcommittees, our ministry subcommittee, or finance subcommittee, or prayer subcommittee. I mean, even if you are a prayer warrior, you can join us with that. Okay, so please give us a call so that we can tell you the different areas in which you can serve. And
let's give out those contact details as well. And I see also where you can be found on Big Fish. You can be found on Big Fish as well as Facebook and Instagram as well. So,
yes.
Details?
So in terms of, as we talk about sponsorship, I want to thank those who have sponsored us in the past and who continue to do so. You admit that some people prefer to remain anonymous, but they would know who they are. So we want to thank them greatly for what we have received thus far. And as we move forward, we expect to build that sponsorship pool as we move forward. As Sister Sonia was saying, definitely we're looking for people, volunteers, persons to participate. And especially in terms of our subcommittees, as she mentioned, we really have lots of persons who have particular interests and expertise. So, for example, even our finance subcommittee, we would like persons who have an awareness of business, finances, etc., to be a part of that subcommittee. We have our ministry subcommittee, persons who have a leaning towards seeing an overview of ministry responsibilities and reaching persons. We have our personnel subcommittee, those persons who may have an interest in HR and dealing with persons in that respect, looking because we have our administrator, we have our volunteers, looking at planning, training sessions, all those things. So definitely if you feel a leaning, a desire, seeds have been planted in you, definitely reach out to cefkman@gmail.com. That's going to be our primary contact. cefkman@gmail.com. And once you reach out, we can provide you with any other information that you may require. But before we go, Sister Sonia mentioned our social media presence. In fact, you mentioned it, Mr. Wissi. It's still in its infancy. So if there is someone out there who has a desire to give back to the Lord in some service in that area, please reach out to us because we would love somebody who has the expertise to maintain those things like our Facebook or Instagram presence and so forth. We are definitely looking for that as well. So that's another area we're looking for volunteers.
Great. And we're going to end by having Mr. Miller talk about the big event that's taking place as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, tomorrow, the training we are going to be having. If you are interested in teaching children, if you're involved in children's ministry at your church, please come out tomorrow to the Savannah United Church Hall. And we are going to be there and have free curriculum for you. And it's going to be a great time.
And again, to remind people that you're non-denominational.
Yes.
I think that's extremely important. So can you repeat that for our audience as well?
Yes. CEF is interdenominational. We work with different churches that can sign our statement of faith, and we are about reaching all of the children in the Cayman Islands and really around the world with the gospel. Children are the greatest investment. If you reach the children, you reach the nation.
Okay.
Can I just
sure, go right ahead.
Can I just acknowledge the sacrifice of our teachers, our voluntary teachers, because they work a heavy program in the schools, and yet they give to the Good News Clubs every week. And we just want to say a big thank you, and we just want to acknowledge the significant impact you have had on the lives of, I would say, almost 200 children each month. And we want to thank the Lord for you.
Okay, and we want to thank you for all that you do as well. We know that with, the success that we have, with the challenges that we have as well, that has to be a multi-pronged approach to addressing the issues that we have here in the Cayman Islands, and certainly starting out with our children. I used to know my Bible verses real good, but the Bible talks about bringing up a child in the way that they should grow and everything else, and that is so important as well. So thank you for all that you do, all on a volunteer basis as well. Folks, I want to thank all of you who shared and participated with us this morning. I believe I may have had a birthday shout out that I needed to give to someone. Let me see if I can quickly find it as well. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, I'll have to deal with that later on Talk Today. So I welcome you to join me at 12:15, wherein I will be guest hosting Talk Today as well. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice.